So I want this to be super interactive. My goal with this meeting is I want to try to do this once a week. As we have more people join the community, I want to be here to answer questions when it comes to crypto. I know there's a lot of things that people like probably see in our group chat where they're like, I have no idea what they're talking about. Like, I want to learn, but I don't want to like ask questions in the chat, and I want to get involved with this, but I don't understand, or I don't know. So I wanted to host just an intro call to go over different ways that you can purchase cryptocurrencies, as well as what they are. So I guess before I get started, I'll share my screen and go through. I'll go through MetaMask today. It's actually a really nice platform that gives you a wallet that you can actually transfer and swap on Uniswap, on 1inch, on Pancake Swap, like a bunch of different sites. But I'll share my screen, and if anyone has any questions, just feel free to put them in the chat. Otherwise, yeah, let me hop in. So, okay, I'll start with MetaMask because I think it's really important tool. So I actually have a MetaMask set up for my Gala node. And why it's important is because when I mine Gala every single day, I have to convert that into Ethereum and then send that to my account so that I can hold Ethereum instead. So just to show you guys what this looks like. So you actually just go to metamask.io and you use this right here, like you download it straight onto your Chrome. And as soon as you have that downloaded, you're actually able to just keep it sitting on your homepage. So I just sign in here. And I can do it on mobile. That's sweet. Cool. So as you can see here, this is a wallet. So just like a Coinbase account that you would have where you hold money in, you can actually keep your wallet just sitting and connected, to the internet. And it's actually super convenient because like right now it's turned on, but I can actually lock this at any time as well. So as soon as you start an account, so this is like my MetaMask account, but then I also have my MetaMask connected with Gala, with my Gala Games account. So this is where I'm able to hold, again, that hardware. It's able to send Gala here as well, and then connect with Ethereum, and then that's where I can send Ethereum. So when everyone talks about, oh, I see this new meme coin, or I see something that's not on Coinbase and I can't purchase it, how do I do that? So this is exactly how you do that. So MetaMask, hit the download button right here. It'll prompt you to go through different security protocols. If anyone is setting this up and they have questions, drop it in the crypto chat that we have, and I can walk you through that as well. But as soon as you have that set up, this is where you can actually just send your Ethereum, let's say that you have sitting in Coinbase, you can send that to your account. And then this is how you swap with different pairs. So I can actually go in here right now. If I wanted to swap Ethereum, I could actually just type in a token. Like let's say I want to, let's do Chainlink just as an example, or even VeChain. I could actually just do VeChain. So it shows there's one source that I can continue with here, and I can choose how much Ethereum I want to say. So like, let's say I wanted to do 0.25 Ethereum. This would allow me to swap that right here on MetaMask. Or I can show you as well if I go to uniswap.io. So this is another place where you can swap. And so the difference between Coinbase and Uniswap is this allows you to get access to whichever cryptos, I would say whatever cryptos Coinbase doesn't allow. This allows you to buy essentially any crypto. This is like the fully decentralized market. And this is where you're able to, again, swap out the different coins you have without paying, the different fees. The only difference is now you're paying for gas fees, which Right now, with all the meme coins and with everyone transacting on the Ethereum market, gas fees are really high right now. But I think that should settle down in the next couple of weeks, just as the market's getting figured out. But as you can see in like the top right here, my MetaMask wallet is connected right now to Uniswap. So I can go in right here and I can actually type out whichever crypto again I'm looking to transfer with. And something that's really important too, just to note, is you want to make sure that you're looking at the correct address. So let's say it's something that's not just being shown on Uniswap. CoinGecko is a really good resource as well, that I know Mike in our group chat has recommended, and I recommend that everyone goes on to CoinGecko and they just become a little bit familiar with what you can do with it. There's a lot of really good resources and tools to read through. There's a lot of good news. It talks about the DeFi market, NFTs, if people have questions on those. So I know I spend a lot of time on here when I'm doing research and looking at different projects that I want to invest in. I think that's the difference between, stocks and crypto as well, is when you're buying a crypto, you're essentially investing in that project. And I know that's a little bit different than a stock. Like, they use your stock money to reinvest back into the company or reinvest into their team. With this, like, you're bringing that project to life. Like, that's why, like, I always stress in the group chat, like, I invest in projects that have utility, projects that will make an impact in the crypto market. That's why, like, I typically haven't gotten involved in meme coins, because I don't believe there's utility to them. I don't believe that there's something that they can truly offer this space besides people just riding the waves up and down. So like Chainlink, for instance, like that's my favorite crypto. That's the one I'm most invested in. Polygon is another one that I was invested in. I did all my research here on CoinGecko. Besides CoinGecko, Twitter is really good for following different cryptos that you're interested in. But I would say, like, focus on a few main ones and kind of learn what they do and really stand behind what projects like you're getting invested in. I think that's super important for crypto just because it's a newer space. But the cool thing is, like, let's just say I go to, I'll just do Chainlink.
I was gonna say,
Yeah.
if you could, like, I guess, show us kind of what actually do you actually look at when you're actually in CoinGecko, like, to actually kind of review it, or what are you actually looking into to figure out if it's good or bad?
Yeah, definitely. So Mike has talked about this as well. So I would say I always look at the supply. So the supply of how many coins are even offered. The more supply, as you imagine, there's less demand. So with only having 1 billion supply of Chainlink, I think that's not that much compared to like a Dogecoin or an XRP or some of these. I think, like, when you invest in crypto, of course you want a project that long term will grow and hit higher numbers, right? Like, that's the reason we invest our money, is for it to grow. But with, like, when people say, oh, I think Dogecoin could go to $2 or $3, like, that would make it the highest market cap crypto coin out of everything that's in our market right now. So is it realistic? I mean, if people put enough money into it, it might happen, but just due to market cap alone, like, I don't see that as something that's very feasible. So I always look at this information right here. I see how much of the supply is currently in the market, because I think that's important too. Like, as they introduce more supply to the market, then of course demand is going to go down. So looks like they're about halfway through adding circulation, like their supply into circulation. So I think just long term, it's really interesting to see like how price has been going up, but then looking back, like maybe in a year from now, like how much more supply has been introduced, what is the price looking at, so like you can continue to see maybe how that trend moves. Another thing that I think is really important is actually going to their website. So you can, like, from here, just click directly onto their website. Also reading blogs. I think it's really important too, because a lot of their developers, they'll go on and they'll blog about what part of the project they're working on. You're able to get insight firsthand from the team that's building this. And I think that's very crucial as well, because you want to make sure that these developers are actively working on the projects that you're investing in. I've actually looked into a couple of cryptos where I was like, this seems like a really cool project. And then I went to their website and there was no data, like there were no developers like uploading new information. You can actually go right here to source code, and you can actually look at the new things that they've been adding, to the source, like what they're actually working on. So if you go to this source code right here and you notice that no one has like made any changes to the coding in like the last, couple of weeks, couple months, then it's not an active project. That's not something that a team is working on every single day to actually bring that project to life. So you probably don't want to invest into it, is my point there. So something too that Mike had shared with me that was actually super helpful is, I think he actually dropped this yesterday in the chat, but you want to make sure that you're actually working with the correct code in the contract. So if I go to Uniswap and let's say like I wanted to search or paste an address right here, you can actually just go from CoinGecko here and you can actually just copy and paste this contract. And then that will allow you to make sure that you're sending it and transferring it to the right coin. So sometimes, you can actually put in like, so Astro Elan is someone, or is like that's that, what is that? The Elan coin that I introduced to the chat because someone had actually mentioned it to me. They invested 30,000 into it. And I was like, okay, if someone's investing $30,000 into it, then I'm going to throw a little bit into it just to see what happens. But they actually haven't listed it yet on Uniswap or any site. So I had to pull that code and paste it in here, because if someone sends you the wrong code, then you send your money to the middle of nowhere. You have no idea where that money is. So you have to make sure you're getting the right code. So to make sure you do that, I just always make sure that anytime I'm swapping or putting money in, that I just grab the contract code right here, and you can actually add it to your MetaMask right here too. So it's super, super useful. Again, I use this probably a couple times a week just to make sure, that I'm going through everything that way as well. I mean, you can read into trends as well. So you can see like the last hour percentage moves, the last 24 hours, and have all this data right here in front of you as well. So it's a super useful site. Mike also talks about, you can go down here to see like where it's being traded, like where the most volume is for it to be traded. And you can see like the prices as well. I know it was just brought up in our group chat, like, oh, Gemini has the price at this, whereas Webull has the price at this. So you can actually go into these different exchanges and you can see who has the best price option for you to purchase the coin as well. And then they of course have notes and just different data here. So any questions on CoinGecko or anything that way? But I'll just wait. Oh, Chris. Okay, cool. Was there any questions that anyone try to download MetaMask? Like I said, I wanted to like make this just like very simple tonight, just like share a couple different things to help you guys with getting started with an account. For like my long-term holds, you can keep it in MetaMask. Like let's say you don't want to use Coinbase because it's centralized. I would definitely recommend MetaMask. It's super secure. Like I said, if you wanted to turn it off so that it's not actively on the internet, you can essentially just click this button right here and it locks it. And now no one has access. Like the internet doesn't have access to your account. And then all you have to do to just get it restarted is just type in your password. We're back. So MetaMask is not cold storage. It's a good question. So cold storage, the only thing that's cold storage is, I don't know if you can see that in my blurry screen. 1 second. So the difference between cold storage and hard, like the hot storage, is hot storage means you're connected to the internet. With hot storage, if you're connected to the internet, potentially your information could be hacked, right? Like I'm not saying it's going to be, but it could potentially, like someone could access that information if you make your passwords available, if someone has access to your 15 like word security, if you put that information out to the public, then they could access your account. I would say like I've had my information on Coinbase. I've had coins in Celsius earning interest over the last 6 months, 7 months. I've had my account in MetaMask as well for the last couple months. I've had no issues with it at all. Being able to transfer from site to site has been really easy, and it's been super useful. I know for people who are buying and holding long term and not just like transferring and like actively trading, they will buy one of these hardware wallets. So if I were to, let's just say someone's like, Nate, I'm interested in buying 100 Chainlink and putting it into storage, and 10 years from now, seeing where that's at and maybe pulling that out and selling it then, I would definitely recommend getting, I have the Ledger Nano S. I'll put a link in our resources tab for you to get that. It's super nice. You plug it straight into your computer. You're able to transfer all of your Ethereum, your Chainlink, your Bitcoin, all to this hardware wallet. And the only way anyone can access your crypto that's in this is if they physically steal this piece from you. So as a lot of you know, I hold and collect silver, and then I'm also involved in crypto. So I have a safe where I just keep, I can keep my Ledger Nano here, and I can keep my silver just locked away in a safe. And the only way I lose my crypto is if I physically lose this device. That's the only way for me to lose it. Whereas someone could technically come into this account if I give them my information, and they could pull that from my account. So that's the only difference there. Is there any questions on the hard wallet versus the cold wallet, or the hot wallet or the cold wallet? But these are like there's like $70. They're not that expensive. Yeah, if you're not actively trading and like moving money around often, I would definitely look into one of those hardware wallets. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. The other websites where you can buy crypto, like I think like I had someone in the chat a few days ago just like ask me like very introductory questions like, where do I buy it? Where do I find information? I would say I always start with Coinbase because I think it's the simplest way to purchase. Now that I downloaded MetaMask, like it's very easy for me to use because I've been playing around with it. I think I just saw another. I have not heard of that one. Oh, and they do assurance claims. Oh, that's nice. That's cool. Yeah, I think there's a couple cryptos that are coming out that are actually like insurance for crypto, because I think that's something that a lot of people fear is like I mean, that's part of the blockchain, right? Like if you send, Bitcoin to someone and you send it to the wrong address, there's no way to turn it around and send it back to yourself. But I think the insurance play is really smart, and the companies that are actually bringing insurance to this space, it's going to be really important long term as well, especially as companies start to mass adopt the crypto play. And I know we saw what Elon Musk said today is until Bitcoin has a more efficient way to mine, they're no longer accepting it for Tesla, which is interesting. So that's why we're seeing a pretty big crash right now in prices. And honestly, it's just really good discount areas to purchase. But outside of that, I feel, the crypto space is still so early on still. As a lot of people had said, this is very close to what happened in 2017 with the huge bull run and a pretty big correction. But I still think we have a lot of ways to go in terms of the coins and gaining strength and getting better that way. So Did anyone have, I guess, any questions at all? Like, I want this to be a place where you can just come every Wednesday if you have even the simplest of questions like, Nate, can you help me with setting up a Coinbase account? Can we go through how to set up the MetaMask a little bit more? What projects am I looking at? Like, seriously, anything like that. I want to help people get started because I know this space can really help you financially long term. And I think a lot of people don't know what they don't know. So it's really important to be here to help you guys, get started. So I were to start investing right now with 1K. So in my opinion, and it's not everyone's opinion, but my opinion is I like to buy whole number projects. So Bitcoin, for instance, let's look at what Bitcoin is right now. So Bitcoin is $50,000 for one coin. Now, unless you have $50,000 to buy one coin just sitting in your bank account, I think personally, buying Bitcoin as your main project is financially irresponsible. I would say it is. Like, I feel like if you're buying 0.001 Bitcoin, like over the long term, I think that's a really smart play to do as like secondary or alternative projects. But for me, I just look at opportunity costs whenever I'm investing. Like, let's say I had 10 grand. Now I could buy 0.2 of a Bitcoin. Now, when Bitcoin goes from 50,000 to 60,000, like, I don't make 10 grand. And that's because I don't own a full Bitcoin. But if I had 10 grand and I was able to buy 2.5 Ethereum, now I'm able to see and feel that gain so much more than I feel with a 0.2 Bitcoin. I hope that makes sense. If it's a chain link, right? If that's chain link where I'm sitting at $43, now the amount of chain link I can buy with $10,000. Now think of every single time chain link goes up $1 and you own 200 of them or 300 of them. Every time it goes up $1, you make $200. But with Bitcoin, if you own 0.2, it goes up 10 grand, you're making $200. So for me, I think it's a smart play to invest money long-term into Bitcoin because I think Bitcoin is going to be here forever. I think it's a very important project. But if I'm putting a chunk of money into a project, I'm looking for whole numbers because I want to feel that movement. Like if Chainlink goes up from, I mean, if you look back here, I'll pull up. Let's do a 1 hour chart. So if you bought Chainlink right here at $30, and let's say you had 10 grand that you invested at $30. Now, when that makes its move up to $52, your Chainlink went up $22 per one that you own. And say you own 200 of them. Like, you feel that movement and you feel that gain on a project so much more than you would feel on owning 0.1 or 0.2 Bitcoin going from 50 to 62,000. And I know a lot of people who own Bitcoin and they were like, oh, it's cool to see my Bitcoin going up, but like, I don't see like a huge gain in my account.
Nate,
So yeah.
Doesn't that only have to do with the percentage gain though? Like, not actually the dollar amount of the token. It's just if Chainlink goes from 30 to 50, that's like a 80% growth. That's why your money grows so much. It's not because Bitcoin doesn't grow a lot. It's because Bitcoin is only growing 5% to go to 50 to 60 versus Chainlink is going 75% to go from 30 to 50. So just keep that in mind, everyone, when doing that too. So
Absolutely. I mean, like Cardano, for instance, right? Like Cardano was at $1 for the longest time, and now it went up to 180. Like that's almost an 100% gain. Now, if you have 1,000 Cardanos, like that's almost $1,000 in profit just by it going up 80 cents. Whereas again, with Bitcoin, let's say you bought Bitcoin at 30,000, even if you bought Bitcoin at 30,000 and it goes up to 50, like that's still a huge percentage gain. But because of the amount that you own, you don't feel that percentage increase. Like you don't feel that gain from the 30 to 50. So I personally, like, that's why I do research into these smaller projects, because Bitcoin's here. Like Bitcoin's here to stay. Like that's not going anywhere. Like buy the dip 100%. Like I'm all on board with that. And I advocate buying Bitcoin long term because it will be very important to this space. But the approach I took is when I first got started in crypto. Let me see if I can go back to that chart. So on Chainlink, this is where I was first introduced to Chainlink, was at $8. So I had started buying Chainlink at $8, and every single time it dipped, I bought in. And like $8 is nothing. Like that's like a small amount, but like I had researched into this project and I was like, okay, Mike has spoken super highly on it. Before I invest and put more money into this, like I want to do my own research. I want to understand the problem this is solving and how it's going to make a huge impact on this space. Like, why will this be here in 5 years? Not why is it going to be here for the next couple weeks and raise noise and have everyone invest into it and dump it. Like, why will this actually make an impact on the world around us? Like those are the things I invest in personally. So I had read into it. I'm like, okay, this is a project I believe in. So again, that gain that you can feel from the $7 to $8 range over time as it continues to go up, that's to me why I look at these smaller projects, I see the problem they're solving, and then that's when I decide to invest in them. Because you feel, again, let's say you have 2, 3, 4, 500 of these coins, every dollar it goes up, you feel the gain for sure. With Bitcoin, you barely feel gains at this point. I mean, I know people who invested in Bitcoin back when it was, $5 or at lower amounts, but like not many people can say that. But even if you bought, let's say you bought one Bitcoin at $4,700. I mean, you're feeling that gain now for sure. But at the price points it's at right now, I mean, you're not feeling the movement that way. So I would say like not every small price project is going to be worth investing. Like I'm not advocating like don't put money into Bitcoin or don't put money into Ethereum. But I would just do your research into projects that you're interested in. Because here's the facts. Like this space is so early. Any of these projects could work. Like as long as they have utility and as long as you read through their case study and they say, our goal is to correct this. Our goal is to provide this. Like there is a really good chance that coin makes it. Like Cardano says, I think Ethereum charges way too high of fees. We have a way that we can correct this potentially. They've been saying for years that they have a solution. They don't have an active solution right now. So I'm a little skeptical on that project. I was invested in it for a little bit. I'm not right now, but as soon as it dips a little bit lower, that's something I might want to get into. I've been reading more about it, so I'm convincing myself to get into it. But those are projects that I read into, and like those are ones that I'm interested in, like the long term. And like maybe those are the ones I put onto my cold storage and I lock away in my safe and I don't touch those. Because like right now, like GRT, for instance, is one that I actually really like. I think it's a really strong project. I think one day in the next couple of years, I can see it being a $10, $15 coin. And with that being said, like right now, like it's $1.34 a coin. Like you could buy $100 worth of these coins and put that in a cold storage and lock that away, and like 5 years later, you know, it being worth a lot more. And like that's $100 that you can put into it. Like that's, you know, for some people that's very manageable compared to what you would need to put into Bitcoin in order to make gains that way as well. So I hope that analogy, or I guess that like understanding, makes sense. But that's just my mindset. I mean, I know people who say just put money into Bitcoin and like it doesn't matter. But for me, that's just my philosophy and my style behind it. So, Shiba. I feel like the space right now has so much, I don't want to say like influencers, but I feel like there are so many people bringing people to crypto, which I think is awesome. Like, I think that people are getting people involved in this space. They're learning about the decentralized market. That actually reminds me of a couple other things I wanted to show as well. But I think that these meme coins, I don't know if you guys saw what happened today, but there were a lot of dips in the meme coin prices as well, because the owner of Ethereum actually sent I think he got gifted like $1 billion worth of the Shiba coin, or the Shiba Inu coin. And he sent that to India to help with some of the stuff that's going on right now. Like, he gifted $1 billion worth of that coin over to India to like help with like medical costs and like different things that way. So like, if you saw the price today, like it tanked super hard. So all of these people, and I'm in a different Discord where everyone's like had put in like $4,000 and it went up to like $100,000 in like 2 weeks, and people were like, oh my god, like let's buy Lambos and like all this stuff. And I was just sitting there, I'm just like, as soon as the rug's pulled, like, oh man, I just feel horrible. But so a lot of people lost a ton of money today because the Ethereum founder sent all that money away. So with that being said, like, I would just say, like, be very cautious. Like, there's no utility, there's no project that they're solving, like there's no problem that they're solving. It's literally like, how big can we make this social group? Like, we could start a meme coin for 5 to 9, right? Like, we could start something like that where like, let's build this coin up to $1, and then like, let's invest that money into something. And as soon as we pull the money out, then everyone's investment goes down to zero. Like, that just gets pulled. So when the money is not actively being used for something, I think that's something you need to just be very, very careful about. But at the end of the day, I also think that, you know, if you get in early and you can, you know, catch a wave, like, you know, it's not my personal style to invest that way. But again, like, I think you can make money doing that as well. Like, you just have to be very smart and very, very tactical with that. So the other things I wanted to talk about, let me see if I can pull. So you can earn interest on your crypto as well. So let's say that you have money sitting in Coinbase and it's just literally there collecting dust. Like, it's going up and down, like you can watch it, you can look at it, but you're not earning any interest or anything like that. Celsius is actually really cool. I just moved some Ethereum over to Celsius a few days ago, so I'm just getting started in it. But you can actually go onto their website and you can type in exactly like how much, like, let's say you have 2 Ethereum sitting in Chainlink right now, or two Ethereum sitting in Coinbase. So I can see like how much interest I can actually earn on my Ethereum. So let's say it's right around 8 grand for 2 Ethereum. So every year you can earn $400 worth of Ethereum by it just sitting in Celsius. Like, they literally pay you $33 a month USD, but you know, it's given to you as Ethereum. So you're earning 5% interest on your money by literally just like putting it and staking it on Celsius. Now, banks don't offer you that. They used to many years ago, but if you're like, wow, I have money sitting in my bank account doing nothing, like it's not a bad idea to buy a different coin and put it onto Celsius where you can earn interest every single year. That's 5% of your money growing. Celsius, if you get it paid out in Celsius token, you actually make more money. They give you more money. So it's 6.61%. Something I've actually looked into doing is, so like when the bear market happens, so like as everyone knows, we're in the bull market right now. That's why we're seeing these huge upticks in prices, but you can actually move to what it's called a stable coin. So here, let me just show you guys. Let me see. So the USD coin, right? So let's say I have $10,000 that maybe I sell off some of my chain link or whatever, like during like when the bull goes to the bear cycle, I switch my chain link to USDC. USDC coin, why that's important to share. The value of the USDC coin is always $1. So let's say I sold my chain link at 50 and I converted it to a USDC coin. So the market, like Chainlink, might go up and down from that point, but my USDC will always sit at $1. So that dollar value never changes until I put it back into Chainlink, or maybe I put it into Bitcoin or whatever. So if I have $10,000 of USDC, I can actually earn 10% interest per year on my money. So I can literally earn $1,000 on Celsius by just putting my money onto their site and like letting it stake there. Like I think that's a huge value that a lot of people don't know about. Like if my bank was giving me 10% interest, like I'd be pretty happy. So I think like just to have that, like as we enter the bear market, I think something that a lot of people should look into is converting their coins to USDC and then letting it sit in Celsius and earn interest. And then you can always pull it out of Celsius when the bear market or when the bull market starts back up and start to make money that way as well. Let's see. Celsius, to me, I think they pay more interest, and they're also a larger company. Like if you look at the amount of money that they manage over BlockFi, it's actually pretty significant. So when I'm gonna like move money to a site like Coinbase, right? Like it's a sort of centralized market. So like the fact that they like have audits, the fact that they are now like on the publicly like traded like IPO, that's something to me where it's like, okay, like I trust Coinbase as like a simple solution for people to buy crypto. Celsius, to me, just because they have a larger market, you're able to, I guess just for me, it's more of a trust factor, but they also have like very comparable rates to BlockFi. Something I actually spoke about with Mike, because I'm now going to be staking a lot of my coins, just earning interest long term, because it's better than it's sitting just in my Coinbase account. But something he recommended is, he said, why don't you just break up the amount of Chainlink you have and like put like 20% of it into Celsius, or 30% of it into Celsius, 30% into BlockFi, 30% into Gemini. Like you can take your money and you can put it into different places and earn interest from each of the sites, because you never want to put all of your eggs into one basket. He said, he's like, if Celsius goes down, then like just, you don't have it all in one spot. So I also think, I think that's smart. That's smart. But yeah, so I'm probably gonna just do Celsius. I think just from like my research and understanding, like it's very trustworthy. Again, they have a pretty large team of developers that are always working on things, making it better. So that's probably where I'll go. But when the bear market starts, or even if you have capital sitting in a bank account right now, like let's say you had $5,000 just sitting in like a savings account. I keep very little money in the bank, because personally, like I feel like it's just losing money, just collecting dust and allowing the bank to use it to loan my money out to people. So I can put it in here and I can earn $500 a year if I had $5,000 just sitting in a savings account. So I think just like learning where to put your money to work is super important, and crypto is a great way to do that.
My question with that is, how long do you have to keep it in there for, and is there any penalties for taking it out, except like that kind of stuff?
Yeah, there's no penalty. You can put it in there, and like you earn as it sits in there. So if you decide to pull it, I think there is a certain amount of like days that it takes for them to like send you your money. Like it might be like a 3 to 7 days that it takes to like send it to you, just because they have to pull that back from where they loaned it out as well. But that's the only thing I've noticed. And just with talking with people, I would say again, like do your research on that as well. But my goal when I invest, or like if I stake on the Celsius, like my goal is to not touch it. Like like if I'm going to put it on here to gain interest, my goal is not to move it. So again, like that's why like I have a certain percentage on my MetaMask that I use for trading, and the rest of it is like for me to grow long term. Because the cool thing is like you stake it on here, and let's say Ethereum goes from like around what is it at 4,000 right now? Let's say that goes up to $10,000, right? Like you're still getting the gain on Ethereum as you're earning interest on it, sitting on Celsius. So I would just say like put whatever you want into Celsius that like you don't want to touch. Again, I know people who pulled out of Celsius. If like if we had a different investment like we were looking into, and they're like, okay, like I just have to pull money out of Celsius, they were able to pull it out of there within like a day or two. So it's not like you have to have it invested for a certain amount of time, or you need like 2 weeks to pull it out of the account. So it's pretty transferable that way as well. Yep. Self. Oh, go ahead. Oh, what up, Dan?
Now, do you only have to put Ethereum in there, or can you put any coin in there?
There's a bunch of different coins. Like I'm
If
probably
if you tell me I can throw a chain link in there, I'm about to do that right now.
yes, you can.
All right. I'll see you guys in an hour. I don't plan on chain link.
So I would say though, I would potentially look to convert it to something else before I would put Chainlink in there.
Explanation.
So you're only earning 3%. So something Mike had said in the chat the other day that like really resonated is like, if you're only earning 3% on Chainlink, like I would wait until Chainlink, or like I would wait until the bull market is done, and then like when it's at its high point, like you can always convert this to like, let's say you throw it into Celsius right now as Chainlink. Like let's say Chainlink hits $300 this year, right? Like as the top of the bull, and then over the next 6 months, it starts to just bear, like it just like crazy going down. I would look to convert it to USDC coin or a stable coin, because you're only earning 3% interest. Like it's still something, like, which isn't bad. But if you look at again, like the USDC coin, like you're earning 10% interest. So like
that's what I was talking about. Is I'd like to still be getting those gains, because we know Chainlink's going to be
for sure.
bullish. So have it in there, and then once the bull market comes around, just move it to a stable coin and then throw it back in.
Exactly. Yeah, I would just like that was my thing, because USDC coin stays the same like price, so like you're not getting any gain on the coin, but you're getting way more interest. So I would say like if you sell on the high and convert on the high, like I think that's a really smart move. But I mean, at the end of the day, like you're still earning way more on your Chainlink than you would if it was sitting in Coinbase, or if you had it in cold storage or anything that way. So I mean, 3% is
basically
still
earning double.
Yeah, exactly. And you can like you earn Chainlink from it too. Like you can earn 3%. Like look at that. Like if let's say you had let's say you had 200 Chainlink, for instance. So you're earning $262 per year of Chainlink. So now think of how that adds to your bag as well. So now your 200 Chainlink turns into let's call it 205, just for fun. Like that's still 5 chain link that you earned in 1 year by having it sit in Celsius instead of having it sit somewhere else. So I don't know. I think it's a really cool play. The only other thing I would mention really quick, which this is like way more risky, so I just like wanted to like clarify that as well, is you can actually borrow from Celsius as well. So I kind of considered doing this because there's a lot of different ways you can earn, and I know this is like going from intro to a little bit more, so I'll probably cap it at this point, but you can actually take out loans from Celsius. And let's say you think that you're at like the bottom part of the market, like, okay, what happened tonight where the prices dropped like crazy? You can actually take a loan out where then they'll give you money to invest into new coins. So the cool thing is like the interest rates are super low. So let's say I had 2 Ethereum that I could use as collateral, and I wanted to take the loan out for 36 months. So they're able to give me almost $2,000 as a loan that I can choose to buy Chainlink now. I can buy a stable coin. I can buy literally whatever coin I want. I can actually pay bills with it if I needed to, like in USDC. And the amount of interest that they charge you is 0.75% over the life of the loan. So for over a 3-year loan, the total interest you're paying is $45 on that loan. You can pay this loan back whenever you want. Like if you wanted to pay it back early, you can, but your cost for loaning $2,000 from Celsius is literally $1.23 a month. So I would say like be careful. Like this is definitely more risky. The loan to value is really important as well. If let's say Ethereum, like let's say you took this loan out when Ethereum was at $4,000, and let's say Ethereum goes into the bear market where it falls down to, you know, $2,000 or $1,500. What happens at that point is Celsius will ask you for more collateral to make up for the drop in price on your collateral. So I would say like I know a lot of people who've used this to take money out and invest it into a stable coin and then stake that stable coin you know, on Celsius even, and then they use the money that they earn from that in order to pay off the interest from the loan. So there's a lot of like really cool ways that you can build long-term wealth with just using Celsius as a whole. But just wanted to share that there are actually like a lot more ways to put your money to work than having it sit in a bank. Like, I think like not to judge anyone, but like if your money is like sitting in savings, like there are so many ways to put your money to work right now, where even like if you're not taking out a loan, like you can put it into a stable coin on Celsius and you can earn a ton of money by having it just sit in this. So let's see if there's any other questions. I know Dan, what time are you going live tonight?
Between 9:30 and 10.
Okay.
My last question for you, did you go over how to actually move your money into here? Because I was a little busy.
I haven't gone through how to move it in here. So it's all app based. So I would have to, I could probably send some screenshots on how to do that in the resources tab. But so you have a wallet like address on both your Coinbase as well as your Celsius. And so all you have to do, I'll send some screenshots just so people have that understanding.
It's just like sending it, like if you were sending it from one wallet to another using the same thing, you just make a wallet through Celsius, and then through Celsius you're able to handle everything. And they have an app that you can actually use, so it's very friendly, user friendly.
It's super user friendly. It's very easy. I sent it over. I sent my Ethereum over there not too long ago, and like it was in there within 5 minutes, and like it's already like staking, and like Ethereum's earning like 6.5% just like sitting there too. So it's like a pretty good way to grow your money that way. So if anyone has questions on anything we covered tonight, feel free to DM me or send a message in the crypto chat. I'll put some of these resources into the page. Like I know like they have a really nice referral bonus for Celsius, where both people earn like $40 and I think it's USDC or Bitcoin or something like that. So I'll send over a link just so people have access to this. But I hope you guys were able to take something away from this, like learn something new about crypto. I'll probably host calls like once a week just to go through new things or answer any questions again. Because I know this is like is a new space for everyone. Like I've only been in crypto now for 6 months, and like there's still things I have no idea that I'm learning every day. So if there's no other questions, I'll probably sign off here pretty soon. But um,
So
anything? Yeah.
I'll ask the most basic question of them all. What is a blockchain, and how does crypto actually function? Kind of like the SNL joke is, what is cryptocurrency? What is a blockchain, right? Like I've been investing in this thing for like a year and a half and can research but I don't truly know what I'm actually, and as well as like, it makes me so nervous to do any transactions on a blockchain. Is that just me, or is that like a regular, just because maybe it's because I don't truly know what it is and where my money's going or how it's being sent or just like things like that.
I mean, personally, like I still ask a lot of these questions. Like I know like my basic understanding of it is that like you are using the powers of the internet. Like it is literally using the internet and it's like full connectivity to different databases and different like communication. Like when I think of, the best way to explain it is like when I think of a company, right? Like when a company wires, let's say a company in China wires money to a company in the US. They have to do wire transfers right now before the blockchain and before crypto. It takes sometimes like 27 to 28 days for them to wire that money from bank account to bank account. And so like with crypto, I have an address that I put through the internet and I'm sending it to another address that it can take 30 minutes to send you the same amount of money that it takes banks to send 28 days, right? So I think like the best way to explain it, like from my understanding, and again, like I feel like if you ask Mike this question, like, and I know he's answered this on other calls, it's using the protocols of the internet. Like you're essentially utilizing the internet's power to send and make transactions between person to person. Like it's a much more protected and secure transaction instead of a bank wire. That's my understanding of it. Now, these things on the internet, I think people have trepidation behind it because people have been hacked. People have lost money, or they've sent it to the wrong person, or they didn't confirm the 26-digit wallet that they were sending the money to, which I agree with you. I think that can be pretty skeptical from times, but I also see, like when I sent my money from Coinbase to Celsius and it was there in 5 minutes and it was already earning interest within 5 minutes, I was like, wow, that's way faster than me driving to the bank to deposit money into my account and then for it to earn, interest, sitting in my bank account. Like it earns no interest. So I think the fact that we're using the internet for everything now, like the internet has taken over, like we now have DoorDash, we have Uber, like all of these apps that we're utilizing to do all of our everyday things. Like your bank account, like you don't check your bank account through, your checkbook anymore. Like you're not like keeping track of every transaction you make on paper. Like you go onto the internet and you look at, or on an app, you go onto your app and you check your bank account balance from there. So I feel like because we're already using the internet for our banks, like that's why I say do your research on the company that like you buy your crypto with. Like Coinbase, again, like it's more centralized. So if I buy it there, it's protected more than if you buy it on the black market, for instance, like not to be silly about it, but like if you buy it in like a weird spot that you don't like do research on, I feel like that's where you might come into issues or you might have issues with it. But I think as long as you follow the rules of how to send money and make sure that you're sending to the right address, then I mean, I've personally never had that issue. And like I've been using it now for probably over a year just with like Bitcoin, like sending Bitcoin to and from people or using Cash App or using Coinbase that way. But to me, like it's just a way more efficient way to do things. And like I think that's why so many companies are starting to, you know, buy and hold Bitcoin. That's why so many people are looking into, you know, VeChain as like the supply chain management because it connects to so many different things that they can't do without it. I mean, as the internet gets stronger, as they find new ways to create these efficiencies, like they are going to invest in the blockchain 100%. So I'm not the most versed person in like what the blockchain is. Like I'll never admit that at all. But I would say again, like just I would just do research on it. But essentially, it's a way of using the internet to do everything instead of having to, you know, use your bank. So it's my general understanding.
Thank you.
Sure. Anybody else have anything? Otherwise,
So it looks like on the Celsius, Tether is the highest APY with 13.19%.
yep. And I think that let me see with Tether if that's Tether. What does it say the price of Tether is? That's not a stable coin, is it?
When I look at the on the CoinGecko, it says it's a stable coin. It says it's 1-to-1 for $1.
Tether USD. Okay, yeah, it floats right around $1. Yeah, so that's another one too. Like just like the USDC. Like I think those are both very, very good options if you wanted to put money into that and have that staked. But yeah, I would just make sure you have like the contract address right here. Just make sure that you're sending it to the right one if you're using MetaMask instead, or if you're gonna just put it onto Celsius, then you should be able to buy it straight from Celsius and just have it staked there.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm. Let your money work for you, not against you. So cool, guys. Well, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. Hope you guys were able to take something away from the information tonight. If you have any questions, follow up with people in the chat, or I'll drop some links in the resources tab so you guys can do some research as well. But appreciate you guys hopping on, and we'll talk to you here soon.